You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Today is Monday, February 23rd. I'm Maria Lisignoli.
And I'm Johnny Connor. Thanks for listening to Four Things to Know.
Our top story today: the effort to fix Minnesota's fraud crisis continues. Today, Director of Program Integrity Tim O'Malley presented what he's calling a roadmap to program integrity and fraud prevention. Barrett Leone tells us what that roadmap looks like.
We just heard from Program of Integrity Director Tim O'Malley, who says that the fraud crisis in the state needs to be addressed immediately. He calls it extensive, unacceptable to the people of Minnesota, well documented and layered. And he lays out recommendations in a sweeping 56-page report. And he says that the time to tackle this and fix this issue, again, is now. Now, O'Malley says that some of these issues go back decades, in some cases documented as far back as the 1970s, with repeated warnings that weren't fully acted on. The roadmap calls for stronger oversight, more consistent auditing across agencies, unannounced site visits, and even using retired investigators to help claw back stolen funds. While O'Malley says it's not a quick fix, it can be fixed with cooperation from everyone.
I can't imagine that people in leadership over the last 50 years were not aware of this. You've looked at the way they've been put on notice about this troubling trend. This is achievable. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind that this can be fixed. But it's going to take a concerted effort. It's going to take coordination within the state agency. It's going to take action by the legislature.
And another big piece of O'Malley's plan is an independent monitor to make sure reform efforts don't stall. He says an issue in the past has been that plans just aren't followed through.
Number 2 today, police in Maplewood need help finding the man who opened fire at the Maplewood Mall this weekend. The mall closed early Sunday after a fight broke out and a young man was shot in the leg. He is expected to survive, but police are still looking for that shooter. Daria Turner was inside the mall during the shooting.
People were rushing. People were grabbing their kids and running up the stairs. Somebody came into the store and said, "Hey, you guys, somebody just got shot. A little kid just got shot in the leg." And we were like, "What? So did they catch the person?"
Maplewood police arrested 2 people under the age of 22 for possible riot charges. Anyone with information or video is asked to contact Maplewood police.
Number 3. Thousands of Americans in Mexico are being told to shelter in place. It comes after the death of the country's most powerful drug cartel leader. His death led to an eruption of violence across several Mexican states. Areas like Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara saw the brunt of retaliation from the cartel. Mexico says 25 members of their National Guard have been killed in attacks. We know there are Minnesotans sheltering in place in Mexico right now. And many tell us they're unsure about when they'll be able to get home. Flights in and out of Puerto Vallarta and Guadalajara are canceled. That includes flights on Delta and Sun Country set to arrive at MSP Airport. As of this recording, we've found 5 flights canceled from Puerto Vallarta to MSP. We spoke with 2 women from Minnesota now in Mexico. Minnetonka resident Andrea Shapiro is stuck in her hotel room, and Minneapolis resident Roseanne Hope is staying in a condo.
They have gates, and they were locked with security standing there.
And so you never made it to the airport?
We never made it.
We don't know when we're going to get food again because we're in our condo and we can't leave. Literally everything is closed. Locals can't leave. No one can leave their house.
The U.S. State Department is asking U.S. citizens to shelter in place until further notice, adding roadblocks have impacted some airline operations and taxis and ride shares are suspended.
Number 4 today, beloved Minnesota skier and decorated Olympian Lindsey Vonn shared today on Instagram that she is officially home from the hospital, but we're learning her injuries went far beyond just a tibia fracture. Vonn says emergency surgery saved her leg from amputation after her devastating crash at the Winter Olympics. She crashed just seconds into her downhill race and suffered multiple serious injuries. Listen to this. They include a complex tibia fracture, a broken ankle, and compartment syndrome. That's a dangerous buildup of pressure in the leg. doctors performed an emergency procedure to relieve the pressure and preserve the limb. The 41-year-old Vonn says she spent nearly 2 weeks in the hospital and is now beginning a long recovery, moving from a wheelchair to crutches in the coming weeks. Full healing, Maria, that could take about a year, with additional surgery likely ahead. Despite the setback, Vonn says she has no regrets.
I'll keep you guys updated. It's going to be a long road. But I always fight. I'll keep going. No regrets. And I just appreciate all the love and support. It's been really amazing. Overwhelming to an extent. You know, I wish it had ended differently, really. But I'd rather go down swinging than not try at all.
Wow, what a crazy list of injuries. It's crazy. She could have lost her leg.
The fact that she could have lost her leg due to this, and in her video, she says it's just the repeated injury to her legs that caused this, what doctors say is compartment syndrome, you know, that buildup of pressure in the leg. And it also is crazy because she says, in a way, she's a little thankful for the fall at the Olympics. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened and she wouldn't have gotten the help she needed from doctors, and who knows what could happen down the line. But, oh, Lindsey, we're rooting for you. We hope you have a great recovery, and Minnesota loves you.
Those are the 4 things to know today. Now let's check in on our forecast.
Hi, next weather meteorologist Lisa Meadows. Your forecast for tonight, dropping down to 18, your overnight low, increasing clouds. Tomorrow, some light snow or even just flurries for the metro. Warmer tomorrow, high of 36.
And now, here's more to know.
President Trump is pushing ahead with new tariffs in the wake of the Supreme Court decision that wiped out many of the previously announced tariffs. The president threatening any country that wants to, quote, play games with what he called a ridiculous Supreme Court decision will be met with a much higher tariff, adding, buyer beware. Over the weekend, Trump announced that he would be raising global tariffs to 15% using the Trade Act of 1974. President Trump also says he doesn't need congressional approval for the new 15% tariffs, saying that he's already been approved in the past.
Earlier in the show, we told you about a roadmap to combat fraud in Minnesota. The fraud crisis was front and center in the Minnesota House today as well. This morning, the temporary commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Human Services, Shireen Gandhi, testified in the Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight Policy Committee. She has some strong words saying Medicaid is under attack in Minnesota. It stems from a decision by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to withhold $2 billion in funding. Minnesota's DHS Commissioner Gandhi says that decision would hurt all Medicaid services in our state, including at nursing homes and hospitals.
This type of withhold is unprecedented and does not reflect the substantial work Minnesota has undertaken over the last year in coordination with the federal agency. We are appealing the decision and on January 30 submitted a revised plan that incorporates CMS's recommendations and goes above and beyond, strengthening programs, reducing risk, and improving our ability to detect and stop fraud more quickly.
Gandhi says the department is appealing that decision. And at the end of January, the department put together a revised plan for CMS to consider.
Housing advocates are asking lawmakers for bold actions to help Minnesota's housing crisis. The groups came together for a rally this morning at the state capitol. These housing advocates claim Minnesota needs more than 100,000 additional homes to meet the current need. Republican Representative Spencer Igo talked about some of the bills he's already working on.
So what are we going to do? We're going to have land use and zoning reform. We're going to talk about lowering the cost of living for people, right? Utility prices pay into that. Your taxes pay into that. All these things combined together, when we give people more to live their lives with, then they can have a higher quality of living.
Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan also spoke to the crowd, saying housing is a human issue, not a partisan issue.
Right now, the drawdown of ICE agents in the metro continues, with authorities saying there are fewer than 500 agents on the ground. That's a big jump from the thousands during the surge, but still not a low enough number for observers that are still fearful. And Minneapolis city leaders say regardless of what federal officials are calling it, ICE is still here. Over the weekend, there was a community meeting in the Phillips and Powderhorn neighborhood. It was in part to plan for the future with the continued ICE activity. Minneapolis City Council member Jason Chavez attended, and he tells us he's still seeing confirmed ICE vehicles across South Minneapolis. This comes after legal observers reported ICE sightings in the northern suburbs, including Coon Rapids.
ICE is still in our community. They're still in the suburbs. We're still asking our neighbors to be vigilant. We're still asking neighbors to support our neighbors, and ICE is still here, and we're just developing next steps.
Again, federal officials say there are now fewer than 500 agents still in the state. Coon Rapids confirmed there was apparent ICE activity in its city on Friday, but they did not have information beyond that. We've reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for more information.
German soccer club Werder Bremen has canceled its planned trip to the U.S., including exhibition matches in Minnesota and Detroit this May. According to a report from BBC Sports, the club cited concerns over unrest following last month's deadly ICE shootings during Operation Metro Surge here in Minnesota. A team spokesperson told the BBC that playing in a city where people had recently been shot does not fit with our values. The club also pointed to stricter U.S. visa rules and what it called economic and sporting challenges. WCCO has reached out to the club for comment.
Maria, let's talk sports. Obviously, our top story, the U.S. men's hockey team, the first gold medal in 46 years.
What a fun game to watch.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. And the fact that just the best hockey players in the entire world were just going at it. I mean, it was the best hockey I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are saying. And the best thing, in my opinion, about the Olympics is you get to watch so many sports that you wouldn't normally watch. So there were a lot of people that aren't normally hockey fans watching the game. Kind of unites a lot of people. And, you know, everyone was cheering for America and America. Same thing with Canada. Like, I can't wait to see the viewership numbers. I bet it might have been the most watched hockey game ever, honestly.
I believe it. True. But I bet people in Minnesota, people in Minnesota are like, oh, yeah, we watch hockey all the time.
Totally.
But you're right. A lot of people all over the world are like, oh, wow, hockey. Interesting. And then Minnesotans were like a huge part of the Team USA.
Absolutely. Yeah, both teams. Obviously, the women's came back with a gold, too. I mean, it's just so cool. You know,
it is.
Gold in both.
I know. Against Canada.
Yeah.
Wild.
And during the game, the Minnesota Wild players, they were all watching together before hitting the ice for practice. Now, Marcus Foligno says they are excited for their 3 gold medalist teammates to come back healthy and with some momentum.
We just hope they keep rolling, come back here excited, and a chance to keep winning. So that's what we want to do here. We want to end the season with the Stanley Cup, and for those guys, they got a taste of winning, and they've been in probably the highest pressure situation. So to have 3 guys in the locker room going into the Stanley Cup playoffs is beneficial for us big time.
So again, the Wild are practicing. Their first game back is Thursday in Colorado, and they're going to welcome home some gold medal teammates.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
If the Winter Games weren't wild enough for you, then listen to this. Those looking for an adrenaline rush this weekend packed into Canterbury Park. They all wanted to witness extreme horse ski joring in person. Johnny, have you ever heard of horse ski joring?
Not until today.
Not until this. Listen to what it is, okay? So, usually skiers slide down a hillside or something, but these skiers race through a course over jumps and all of that, all while being pulled by a horse and a rider.
That's interesting.
Can you just picture it?
It sounds a little dangerous, honestly.
It totally does. I mean, some of these horses have been known to reach upwards of 40 miles per hour. So, you're going fast, being pulled by a horse. That's crazy.
I've gone horseback riding before.
Yeah, me too.
That's tame enough for me.
I'm good along a trail with a leader who's been doing it for years. I'm good with that. Give me a helmet.
Horse and buggy in Central Park.
In Central Park. I love that. Okay, so, but, this was kind of just thrown together, it seems like. Here's horse rider Cassie Deltzer from Mankato.
Basically, we tie him to the back of my horse and I just start going. And he just has to stay on his feet.
What's the training like for that?
We didn't have any. We just went for it.
You know what? Sounds like an Olympic sport to me.
Yeah, they should have had it. Let's get it in the summer or winter,
Right?
It's kind of both. Yeah.
That's true. Could you imagine like with a skateboard?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's dangerous.
Yeah, water skiing, horse. That's not possible.
That's not possible.
I'm out on it all.
Oh, that's so
But it looked
funny.
fun.
It truly actually does look like a water skiing event. But instead of being pulled by a boat, you're being pulled by a horse and you're in the snow. It's such a weird sport. But hey, it's not an Olympic one yet, but it was a demonstration sport in the 1928 Winter Olympics.
Interesting. Let's get it back there.
Let's get it back. Hey. Well, thank you so much for listening to 4 Things to Know. With Johnny Connor, I'm Maria Lisignoli. We're here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.